Hey everyone, welcome back to Someone's PC. My name is Russell Parr, and with me are the two fellow Someone's PC members, Mark Albright and Dylan Bryan. Say what's
What's
up,
up,
guys.
guys?
So,
Today we're gonna bring you the, I guess, deck that I've been testing a lot. Mark's tested a wee bit, but has played against it quite a bunch, and then
yeah,
Dylan's played against it a lot, from what he's told us in his testing. And that is Volcanion-EX, like quad Volcanion deck that's actually taken up 3 spots at the ARG tournament that just passed. That just happened yesterday, since we're doing this in the morning. So, this deck is absurd. It's like I think it got killed off by the concept that it loses instantly to Garb, and so people assume that they shouldn't play it. And then everyone wanted to start counteracting the Mega Mewtwo and Mega Ray decks with Scizor, and Volcanion slowly climbed back into the ranks. So I think that's kind of how like the meta shifted all around. But we're just gonna get right into the list. So to start, we have a 1 Hoopa and 2 Shaman-EX combo. So standard stuff. Shaman's consistent. You Ultra Ball for it. You need it to draw and go bursty with your deck. I like playing it, and I think every deck that's top this weekend already played it and should play it. So
Yeah, I don't know how you don't
there.
play Hoopa
Yeah,
and Shaman in a deck that has EXs or Mega Pokemon or whatever. You just play Ultra Ball and you set up your entire deck.
yeah. Some of the lists today didn't even play Hoopa. I think
Yeah,
they
there
just
was the one
neglected
list that
it. I don't get
I
that.
guess they were worried about. The only reason I could think of is they were worried about bench space,
Hmm.
but that list also played Scorched Earth, and as we'll talk about later on, we chose to play Skyfield instead of Scorched Earth because it doesn't really help that much. That kind of completely gets rid of that bench space issue.
Yeah,
But I mean, the deck's still in development, so then they still made top 8 with it. So still props to them.
yeah. Good for them for doing that. Getting out there. The 4 Volcanion and 4 Volcanion-EX is very, very basic. You want to open the Baby Volcanion as its power heater attack is the I guess the energy acceleration of the deck and what's really get everything going. And the Volcanion-EX's steam up ability is what makes the deck so powerful, because you can just dump fires out of your hand and immediately put them back on through the power heater. So playing 4 and 4 is pretty much necessity for any build that I've seen. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We
They're
also
Diesel attackers too.
we opted not to play the Flareon-EX, which I think a lot of people were testing in the beginning, but none of the ARG people actually played. Like personally, from the games that I have tested with it, it doesn't seem like Flareon-EX does a ton more than attacking with the Volcanion-EX's Steam Up like does.
Yeah.
So
Besides, waste
it's
my
kind of
bench
a
space.
yeah, it's kind of yeah, exactly. It's a waste of a bench spot. So
Yeah, I don't like it too much. I think it was meh. So, getting into the items, we have 3 acro bikes. I honestly love the card since we saw the Japanese list from Worlds, Make Day 2, and I think it's really, really good in this deck. Just, you know, speeding through your deck, getting sure your Volcanion-EX as soon as possible, or see your Ultra Ball to grab your Hoopa, Shaman, etc., and just making your list, like, your deck go a lot faster, and discarding Fire's energy in the meantime that you can just put right back on with Power Heater, or use one of your 4 energy retrievals that we play to grab it back. So, I think 4 Acro Bike is nice, but not really needed. And 3 Acro
yeah,
Bike seems like a perfect number to where it's a solid engine, but it's not ridiculously overkill.
yeah. Trainer's Mail is it also gives you an extra like out off Trainer's Mail to hit like another good card.
Hmm. That one critical card you're kind of fishing for. Next up, we have 4 energy retrieval. I love playing 4 of these, and I don't understand how anyone else cannot play 4. But they got there without them in their list, so kudos to them. Uh,
Yeah, the Japanese list had 4, and that list just ran so smoothly. So I don't really see why you would kind of like veer away from that.
yeah, try something else. I think one of the lists played Professor's Letter, 4
Okay.
copies of Professor's Letter.
I mean, the problem isn't
Shout out to
necessarily
energy.
finding the fire energies. It's you have a lot of you have an attack. I mean, an ability that discards fire energies. You need a way to get them back. And when you're acro biking and sycamoring and everything, you're gonna run out. So
Yeah, that's how I felt too. And playing 4 means when you have it in your opening hand and you haven't really got anything going and you need to play a Sycamore and discard it, then you're going to hit your other 3. Yeah, nothing really affected you. But if you have to let her to go grab 2 fires and Sycamore them away, you kind of just wasted a card. And you're going to go -2 off your fire energies.
Yeah, Acrobike is definitely a better way to thin your deck than letter, in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah. Next up is escape rope and 1 escape rope and 1 switch. The reason we play this is to retreat around Yveltal PKT mainly. If you open a Volcanion-EX and you use it to attack with it, or if you attack with it like in the early stages or even late stages of the game with the Fighting Fairy Belt on it, you want to switch it out instantly instead of just trying to manually retreat, burning 3 energy. So playing 2 or 3 switch cards is ideal for decks like this. I like always going 1 rope, 1 switch, because I feel like there are times when I don't want to rope whatever my opponent has active because I don't have a Lysander to bring it back out, and the card they have active is the one applying pressure to me. So switch at times has saved me a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
It's close to the same.
I mean, I always I don't really have a strong preference either way, and whenever I feel like that, I always just play 1 of each. I also just feel like if your opponent knows, like in a best of 3, like what you're playing, like if they know that you don't have escape rope, they don't have to play around it. If they know that you're only switching card is escape rope, if you have a Volcanion-EX with a Fury Belt, they're like, oh, he can't get to the bench and hit my active attacker. So I just feel like making your opponent play around like both potential cards is like also pretty good when they're so situational.
Mark, same thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel escape rope's a little less powerful this format than like last format, but I don't have a problem with it. I just prefer switch over escape rope right now. There's just not anything that I really feel like they're gonna have active, like aside from like applying pressure with like a Pokemon, like you said, like there's no like big walls. I think that you're gonna struggle to get over with Volcanion right now.
Well, you're pretty much saying like whatever they have on the bench, it's nothing you need. You don't need to deal with anything on the bench. You want to usually deal with what's active, so you just rather have a switch and then we're open to it. Yeah.
That's it.
Like whatever's swinging at you, you want to punch in the mouth. So.
I mean, like if your opponent, if you're trying to like prize race them in like Volcanion Mirror, and they had like a non-EX Volcanion active, but they just had like Volcanion-EX, Hoopa-EX, Shaman-EX on the bench, and they didn't have another baby Volcanion out yet. Like escape rope could potentially be good in a scenario like that, where they just have like their 1 non-EX active and a bunch of EXs on the bench. I mean, it's not like amazing. It's not that much better than Switch, but as it's just an example of how it could be useful.
Yeah, it's just situational. That's all.
Yeah.
I love this 3-minute conversation on escape rope and Switch.
that's really
we're already playing 1 of each. Yeah, no, really, no, it matters. It matters. It's the little things. All right, so next up is Trainer's Mail. Playing 3 of them because the 4th one is nice and helps consistency, I guess. But you're already playing 3 Acrobike. It doesn't feel necessary at all.
Yeah, the deck still feels like it runs, and like although the card would be nice to have, I can't really see like another card that we could cut that would like where the 4th Trainer's Mail would win more games than a card that we're already playing.
Yeah. 4 Ultra Ball after that, and 4 VS Seeker, very standard. That's like cookie cutter consistency cards for the deck. I didn't even really hype that up. Next up, we have 1 Fisherman. I think this was the 60th card that we were thinking about adding in. I know I've been testing with it over the past 2.5 weeks. I think it's great. Only for, I guess I'd say like myself when I first picked up the deck, and then for other players that don't manage their energy efficiently. So like they either don't play enough energy retrieval, or they just burn through their hand and throw out steam ups when it's not needed to take their KOs or make their 2-hit KOs, 3-hit KOs efficient. And, having a card that just has grab back 4 fire energy is really, really good. I've also noticed a lot of times that I would barely have enough fire energy in my discard pile to grab all 4. Like, it just became a nice outer. Like, it turned all my VS Seekers into energy retrievals going into the late game because I use the power heater so many times that my discard pile is, like, somewhat empty besides, like, 2 fire energy that maybe didn't get attached to turn from before. So
yeah, I kind of agree. I haven't actually tested without Fisherman. I've only played it with Fisherman, but like my idea behind playing it was kind of similar, I guess, to playing like Flareon. It's like if you had to if you prize a double colorless energy or you discard it, a double colorless energy with a Sycamore early game, even though that's not ideal. Sometimes you just have to do it. You really get screwed like later in the game.
Yeah.
And I was afraid the same kind of thing would happen in this deck, like you were saying, with energy retrieval. Even if you manage your energy correctly, sometimes you're just going to have 2 energy retrieval prized, or have to Sycamore away 2 energy retrieval turn 1, and the game's going to be pretty unmanageable. So just being able to turn the VS Seekers, like you said, into Fisherman kind of gets rid of that problem. So I feel like for one card, instead of like adding in like an extra like Acrobike or Trainer's Mail, like the Fisherman saves you from like losing a game just because of bad discards, bad prizes.
Yeah. Mark,
Yeah.
same thing. Fisherman liked it when you played
Yeah, I
against it
was
for a little
here
bit.
listening to Dylan talk. I was like, man, he really just sold me on Fisherman as a deck. I was like, I don't know how do you follow that up? It's like, yeah, I'm sold.
Okay, so Fisherman's good. We'll move on. The next one is 2 Lysander.
Yeah.
I tested 3 at first because I thought I needed KO Garb by any means
Yeah.
necessary and as soon as possible. And I played against a bunch of Garb decks, and that's not 200% necessary. And I felt like with Acrobike with Trainer's Mail, playing 2 Lysander was perfect. If they set up a Garb super early, I just try to get to it as soon as possible with Volcanic Heat and try to get Lysander off my prizes because apparently I'm not drawing into them. So two feels fine, just like every other deck we're playing in the format. I wouldn't hate it if I had 3, but I'd rather have other spots like the Acrobikes, the Fisherman, the extra.
It's just
energy
another
retrieval.
nice to have card.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it doesn't
the
even
first
improve your. A third one doesn't even improve your odds of drawing it that much.
Next up is N. Played 2. Most of the lists we've seen today played 3.
I think only the one played 3.
Really? I thought 2 of them
Yeah.
played 3.
I don't know. It was like
yeah,
some of them played 2 and some of them played 3. I think it was split.
Either way, we're playing 2. 2 is good. Acrobike, Trainer's Mail, and then we have Double Shaman plus a Hoopa. This deck flies. Usually take a lead on your opponent. So ending yourself down to 4 isn't exactly what I'm trying to do with this deck.
Yeah, I feel like 3N is like a lot better in the decks that are trying to come back, or the
Mhm.
decks that are playing longer games, so they need a higher supporter count. Like this deck is neither one of those, so I like the 2N for sure.
Next up is 1 Ranger. It removes the effects of all attacks, and you pretty much play the 1 so you can get over things like Regice, Jolteon, and to negate your own Volcanic Heat if you want to go back-to-back Volcanic Heat turns, which I've done multiple times, and it felt completely ridiculous to do so. Like, steam up, KO. Then they like fed me another Mega, and I was like, okay, Ranger, steam up, and KO.
At that point, you just won. You got 4 prizes.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, look at this deck. So much skill, so much interaction. Just instant 2 10s. So 1 Ranger is necessary. I think it's good. Necessary is a stretch. I guess necessary into like an unknown field, but the whole streaming Volcanic Heat back to back is really good. Well worth it. Next up is 4 Sycamore. Understandable. One of the best supporters in the game. Consistency, blah blah blah. We're not gonna talk about that. Next up is 2 Skyfield. So the other lists played Scorched Earth.
No, one of them did play Skyfield. 2 of them played Scorched Earth.
One played 2 Skyfield with a Parallel City, right? And I think Scorched Earth is just garbage for my testing. Like, I hated it. Like, there were times where I was like, okay, I was playing Skyfield, and I was like, we're just going to proximate Scorched Earth right now and play a couple games. And it did nothing for me. Like, it did nothing but make me feel like I had to choose between using this card to steam up or using it to Scorched Earth or attach for the turn. And had I just had a Skyfield in there, I could have just dropped down one of the Shamans or the extra Ultra Balls I had chilling in my hand because I already hooped out like 3 Volcanion-EX and get the cards I needed anyway. Off of that being there. So I'd rather have my energy retrievals fuel my steam ups or fuel my attachments instead of just like, oh, I can energy retrieval for 1 and then Scorched Earth this away and hopefully get the card I need, you know? It happened quite a lot, so I think Skyfield was just overall better for this deck. And I like decks that kind of just go, like what we did with Tyrantrum, you know? You just and vomit out EXs. So
Yeah, I mean, I just think of it like if like you get like three, if you get to use Scorched Earth maybe like three times, because like you said, there's a lot of points where you need to use Steam Up or you need to attach that energy for your turn. And you draw like 6 cards off that. If you just make room even one time for the extra bench spot and Ultra Ball and Shaman for 5 or 6 cards, it's already the same thing.
Yeah.
Plus, it gives you like a bigger bench for the rest of the game. So
yeah, for sure. But you apply so much pressure with this deck so quickly that like them Lysandering my Shaman to race me off my own sky field hardly happens unless it's like a mirror match. Just because you're so much faster paced than the rest of the like format. And most of the time they want to drop down like a parallel city to minus me for 20 to try and mess up my numbers. Or bring me down to 3 and then I can just clear my board, but that hardly ever happens. You know, they don't want to sit there and look at a bench of 3 Volcanion-EX and 2 of them already have 2 fire energy on them.
yeah, having some kind of stadium counter is definitely important for the parallel city, but Skyfield definitely seems a lot better.
Yeah. On that note, did you guys like his parallel city that was played in our list? I forgot, I didn't write it down his name, but congrats on getting top 8, dude. Even if we don't like your parallel city, you made it. We weren't even in there. You got $125. You're chilling right now. So
Yeah, I wasn't in most decks. I like playing like one parallel city alongside whatever other stadium they play, because you can discard your Shamans and Hoopas off the bench. Like, that concept is pretty strong. But in this deck particular, you always are going to have Volcanion-EX on the bench, and Hoopa is just as tanky as Volcanion-EX, so it's not really like a liability. And so the only liability you kind of have is like maybe a Shaman, but you're basically just like racing them for prizes, like Russ said before. So it's like even if it's going to be hard for them to just Lysander your Shaman, kill it, and replenish their attacker when you're killing it every turn. And if they're an EX-based deck, you're one-shotting them with Volcanion, so you're still trading 2 for 2 and you're really fast. So it's not really that big a deal. I think that if you were really concerned about picking up a Shaman from your bench, because like they could prize race you or whatever, I'd rather play like a Ninja Boy, because that has like other uses rather than going the parallel city route.
yeah,
In a deck that has like where Hoopa is also a liability in addition to Shaman, like you're trying to like play like a non-EX concept, like in like a Vespiquen deck, for example, parallel city is super good, but just because it could like remove all your Shamans, or if you're like playing it as a tech for Mega Ray, but in this deck it doesn't seem 100% necessary.
cool. Next up is 3 Fighting Fury Belt, and I know a lot of people are kind of torn on this number. Some are playing 2, some are playing 3. How would I say this? If you're playing 3, 200% play switch cards, like at least 2, because I see people playing 3 and then 3 floatstone and no switch cards, and they expect to just get there, like once they finally use that Fighting Fury belted Volcanion-EX to attack with, and they don't have the Ranger or any other way to like get rid of the Volcanic Heat, they just pay the 3 to retreat and then go back for like another power heater turn.
It's alright, you got Fisherman, you'll get those energy back.
That's a whole nother turn away. Yeah. No, but some people think that though, so it's good that you mention it. So if you're playing 2 or 3, at least play 2 switch cards. I like living life on the edge, and I like having Fighting Fairy Belts all over the baby Volcanions, and I usually like attacking with them too for the Steam Artillery for 100. So I always like to play 3 Fighting Fairy Belt. Next up is 2 Floatstone. Only 2 because we play other switch cards.
And 3 Fighting Fury Belts,
and
like
3
you said
Fighting
before.
Fury Belts. Yeah, we can't have all the space being taken up and everything. Some of the list today didn't play any Floatstones. They just played 3 switch cards, 2 ropes and 1 switch, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was the one list. Yeah.
Yeah,
there were kind of like a lot of little things
edge,
that we liked from all the lists. Like that guy had the acro bikes, but he didn't have like the float stones or the sky fields, and the other person had the sky fields. But so it kind of like bits and pieces from like all the lists. Like I think that just kind of shows that everybody's still trying to figure out like the optimal way to play the deck.
Mm-hmm. Not to say ours is the most optimal.
Yeah, this is just like our opinion on
my testing.
What's good.
What we really like grinded out and put into it. But 2 Flowstone feels fine as long as I'm playing at least 2 other Switch cards. And finally, it's 12 Fire Energy because it feels like a great number.
Yeah.
Some lists play 13. The one dude today with 4, I think he played 11. Well, let me check this real quick.
Volcanion's first attack lets you get 2 Fire Energy back. You're never gonna run out.
Yeah, he
He
played,
played 11, dude.
Yeah, that was the Skyfield guy.
But he played 1 Delinquent, so he's a homie.
Yeah,
He knew
the
about it.
Delinquent
He's
is kind of a
like, get
cute
that fire
deck.
out of here. I'm playing that.
You could
he-
definitely catch people
yeah.
off guard with that.
He's the one who played Super Rod. He played Super Rod though, so
Super Rod's not terrible.
I just want to draw into the fire, and then discard them. I feel like Super Rodding them would make me get kind of mad because you have to fish them out from the deck again. And that's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
that gets pretty annoying. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Do you guys have anything left to say about Volcanion? We're trying to make these as quick as possible. So
Yeah, not really. I'm pretty sure I ranted enough during certain parts. Got my opinions in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very straightforward deck. I expect the prices of Volcanion-EX to go up a little bit because they've pretty much died down. At least in my area, they died down for a bit when all this garb was hyped.
Poor Flareon-EX is gonna go down in price. He didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah, he didn't do what he needed to do. So thanks everyone for tuning into Someone's PC, and we're gonna have another video out sometime this week, doing another deck profile like this. So take it easy.
See you guys.
Peace.